I do want to talk to you more about the theme of love. We have been exploring throughout Advent the broad themes of Advent, the themes of hope, that even in the midst of really challenging or heavy or dark times, that we can hold on to hope. We can hold a vision of what is possible and hold it steadily and long enough until we're able to bring it into expression, into manifestation. And looking at the idea of peace, that even when things are stressful or when there's a lot to do and it doesn't seem like there's enough time, or there's a lot that we want to buy or give and we're not sure how to make all that happen during the holidays, that we can find that experience of peace within, that we can, even in the midst of whatever may be going on, we can take a few mindful breaths, let go, recenter, exhale, and touch that quiet place, that experience of peace. And then last week we looked at the theme of joy and how natural it really is that we come into life with a divine sense of joy that is easily tickled when you think of just a little baby or a toddler, that natural joy, and that how sometimes as we get older, maybe we get a little bit jaded or a little bit challenged, and we have to retouch that experience of joy that's not dependent upon things looking a particular way, but just the very fact that we have this gift of life. And today, the theme of love. If we think about life, if we think about religion, if we think about philosophies and cultures as not separate objects, but maybe hold it as a picture of a divine tapestry. On one side, we see this design. On the flip side, we see various threads that went into making that design of the tapestry. And yet, in that tapestry, with a picture of so many different expressions, whether it's expressions of humanity or expressions of life itself, many philosophers say that there is a golden thread that runs throughout all of that, throughout everything that might seem to be separate and distinct, that there is this golden thread. And guess what they suggest the golden thread is? Love. Love, the thing that binds us together, that holds us together, the thing that we crave to experience, the thing that we crave when we are spiritually awake, to express and to give. I think love is the ultimate expression of an awakened consciousness. The ultimate expression of an awakened consciousness. That love is the ultimate expression of anyone's religion or spiritual tradition. Which is why when I hear what some people say Jesus said or Jesus did, or stand in a very fundamentalist approach to Christianity, I think, where is the love in that? Where is the love in that? Especially from the teacher whose birthday we're about to celebrate, was all about love, saying the greatest commandment is that we love, that we love. And so in this time of Christmas, I think we maybe feel even more inspired to give birth to and expression to these innate qualities of hope, qualities of peace, qualities of joy, and certainly the quality of love. Some of you may be aware of this, but perhaps not all of you. In the Bible, we read the word love numerous times. But unless we've actually had some training in how to approach reading the Bible, what we may be unaware of is that the word that is translated as love, that we read as one word, love, can come from 4 different Greek words meaning 4 rather different things, and yet we read it as the word love. In the Greek language, in our Bible, from which we translate and we read it in English and we read it as love, there were 4 different words, 4 different kinds of love. Eros, meaning sexual or romantic love. Filial, meaning brotherly love. Storge, meaning familial love, family love, the love between parents and children and brothers and sisters. And then agape love, meaning divine love, meaning unconditional love. And yet when we read the word love, unless we understand that it came from a particular expression of love, we're liable to dump it all in one container. It's like when you say to a child, to a grandchild, to your partner, I love you, do you mean the same thing as when you say, I love this chocolate cake? You don't mean the same thing, right? It's a different thing that we're talking about, And so in our spiritual practice, to me, love is the advanced course. You know, sometimes people over the years would say to me, well, okay, Wendy, I've been coming for a while, and now what's the advanced course? And in the beginning, I used to feel really defensive about that. And then I think I grew a little bit, and I realized, the advanced course is doing it. The advanced course isn't just being able to know what it is and to talk about it. It's actually being able to do it, and to do it in the places where it really is the toughest to do. And that's all of our spiritual practices, actually. And especially the spiritual practice of the expression of love. It really is, I think, the advanced course. Agape love is that divine, unconditional love. It's like if we were to draw a bit of a picture here, an analogy here, we might say, use the analogy of the ocean and the waves. That the waves they seem kind of separate, and yet they're not. And some waves come crashing in, some are long, some are slow, some are smooth, some are rough, kind of like people. Kind of different, seemingly apart, and yet not really. And yet every single wave, whether it is small or long or short or peaceful and quiet or really rough and powerful, that every wave is made up of what? Ocean, the same thing, the same ocean of love. And that ocean is like what we're talking about when we're talking about agape love and energy and unconditional love. The Apostle Paul, in his first letter to the Corinthians, I think, attempted to talk a little bit about a broader understanding of love. If you have done any studying of the Bible, or if you grew up in any more traditional Christian community, denomination, you would be familiar with the words, but I'm going to share them with you again here because they're so beautiful. He wrote, if I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. Ever hear cymbals clang in a very unpleasant way? He's painting a very clear picture here. He says, if I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, pretty big, tall order he's giving. He's saying, if I can do all of these things, if I can do all that, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I am nothing. Love is patient. Right there we could stop, right? Do you ever still have things that test your patience? You're very quiet. Maybe you don't have as much testing going on as I think I have sometimes. Are there any people who test your patience? If you're raising a puppy, or as we are, there are puppies that test my patience. He says, love is patient. Love is patient. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. That's a pretty big order right there, right? Does not boast, is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but it rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Bless you. Love never fails. Just breathe into that for a moment. I don't think any one of us does really any part of this perfectly. And it's not about doing it perfectly, but it is about doing it a little bit better than we've done it before. Stretching into it a little bit more in the places where it is a little bit harder to do. It's practicing it with that person that we call sandpaper to our soul, or that I call sandpaper to our soul. That person that just rubs us the wrong way, and yet in the rubbing us the wrong way is smoothing out in us any rough edges and helping to build in us a greater capacity for love, a greater capacity for kindness, a greater capacity for compassion. Agape love, I think, is the very essence of our being, and it's a demonstration of an awakened consciousness, even though we don't have to do it perfectly, but our intention can be to do it well. Love is an action. I remember, and it's been a long time ago now, I remember when I heard somebody first say, love is a verb. That hit me. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't really know it. And when I heard it, I remember spending quite a bit of time thinking about that it's so easy and tempting to think of love primarily as a noun. And when we think of love as a noun, oftentimes we're thinking about the love we want to have, the love we want to get, the love that maybe we feel is missing, or it can be on the positive side, the love that we have received, that we are grateful for. The advanced course to me, though, is the real understanding of love as a verb. It's bridging the internalization of knowing that we are born in divine love, that we are expressions of divine love. It's bridging that internal realization of agape love into expression of it. In our interactions, in the way that we talk, in the way that we consume, in the way that we decide, in the way that we show up in life. Think about love, agape love, as a powerful river, flowing strong, but there's a dam. And that dam is keeping that river from really being able to flow freely and fully. And that dam is our resistance. That dam is our ego. That dam is our fear. That dam is our selfishness. That dam is on our unforgiveness. When we begin to awaken more and more spiritually, that it's as if there is a crack in that dam, and that crack becomes a bit wider and wider and wider. And what happens to the water when it meets that crack? It expresses through. It expresses through. This is why whatever work we do on ourselves and in ourselves, to clean up our stuff, to heal our stuff as much as we can, to awaken, whatever work we do helps us to open up to love and to be able to be, as St. Francis had said, an instrument of love, a vehicle of love, a channel of love. When we are that instrument, when we are that channel, we choose to act in certain ways. We choose to be used for a higher purpose. We choose to help if we can help. We choose to be of loving service. Mahatma Gandhi said the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in service to others. The best way to find ourselves is to lose ourselves in service to others. Philosopher activist Cornel West said, "Justice is what love looks like in public." Isn't that powerful? Justice is what love looks like in public. The other part of his quote there is tenderness is what love looks like in private. It's a both end. Justice is what love looks like in public. It's why you had Jesus associating with the people that he associated with. It's why you had Jesus saying things about don't judge. It's why you have Jesus, attributed to Jesus, I should always say, saying, why are you so aware of the speck in your brother's eye that you do not see the log in your own eye? First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck in your brother's eye. He's talking about judgment. He's talking about the importance of us recognizing the divine spark, the love in one another. And that is, as I suggested earlier, the advanced course. The advanced course to see the divine in all. I'd like you to take just a pause moment to allow to come to your mind 3 people that you find it really easy to see the divinity in, the love in. Just call them to mind. And as you do, just silently just bless them and say thank you and just acknowledge silently. I bet every single one of us was able to do that. And I bet every single one of us will be able to do this next thing, and I'm not going to ask you to share. And some of us might have some of the same people that come to mind with this next one. Call to mind someone that is really hard for you to practice seeing the divinity in. Everybody have somebody? Yeah, that's where our growth is. That's where our growth comes. That's the advanced course. Significant spiritual growth comes from consciously practicing to see the divinity, to see the goodness in the other, just as we have to practice remembering the goodness in ourselves, the divinity within ourselves. It's to me what it is to put on spiritual glasses. Spiritual glasses don't limit our seeing. Spiritual glasses expand our seeing. Spiritual glasses allow us to still see what's going on, and sometimes what's going on isn't a pretty picture, and sometimes, if you've noticed, human beings can act in some pretty not nice ways and pretty terrible ways. Spiritual glasses don't mean you don't see what is, but spiritual glasses means that you see more. Spiritual glasses means that you and I can see beyond the personality, that we are choosing to see beyond the personality, that we are choosing to see beyond the current behavior, the current acting out, whatever it may be that we think is wrong, and in fact may be wrong. Spiritual glasses allows us to see beyond that and to see through it and into the truth of the essence of that being, which is that every single being has the spark of the divine in us and in them. And that is why I think Jesus, when he was asked, what's the greatest commandment, said it's to love. It's to love. And he never said, I haven't found any translation that attributes words like these to Jesus. Hey guys, it's easy. I'm not aware of any translation that attempts to suggest that Jesus ever said the things that he was talking about were easy. You know, read the Sermon on the Mount. Read the Beatitudes, just the Beatitudes. They're easy and simple to read and to understand, but they're not so easy to put into day-to-day practice, right? It's why he was a teacher of consciousness, and it's why I think we still strive to stretch into what it was he was talking about. And then the last idea that I want to share about agape love and about what happens the more we are willing to get better at this. And again, it's not about doing it perfectly and doing it all the time, because Truth of the matter is probably not. There are going to be plenty of times that we go, oops, that wasn't very loving. Oops, I could have done better there. But just the catching of ourselves is of notable worth. Part of what happens when we do this kind of work is our own light begins to shine brighter. And that shining of our own light really can be an inspiration to others to do some of that themselves. Think about what happens in a really, really, really dark space or a really, really dark room. If you have one person lighting a candle, what happens to that really, really dark space just from that one candle? It becomes brighter, right? It's quite significant, actually, how much light one lit candle can give. But then imagine what happens, and I know you can picture this, if there are many candles being lit in that room. Soon that room becomes bathed in light. And yet each one of those candles is still individual, right? Is still unique. And if you really look at it, the flame and how it is moving and the wick and all of that is unique. It's not exactly the same as the candle next to it. When we do our work, whatever that work is for us, when we do our work, it does make a difference. And I don't know how it is for you, but I know it's important for me when I become worried or concerned about things that I read or things that I see or things that I wish were different, to not become hopeless, but to remember that there is so much goodness in the world, so much goodness in most people, that if we continue to let the light that we are shine, if we continue to express the love that we feel, we will help to create a more loving, peaceful, and just world for all. And to me, that could be the greatest Christmas gift and wish we could ever have. Namaste.